In this guide, you will learn how to play Realms Crossing. The game can be played by up to 5 races that each start in their dedicated position at the outskirts of the map. The goal of the game is to earn as many victory points as possible before the central treasury is fully depleted of firestones and the game ends. There are multiple ways to earn victory points, and you are always competing against your opponents for first and second place, so there is no single strategy that will guarantee victory. In the upper left corner, you can see the current victory point standing. By clicking on the list, you can see detailed information of the different victory points objectives and who is currently in the lead. Some objectives can be achieved by all players. For example, each firestone collected awards 1 victory point, or getting your hero to level 3 awards 3 victory points. Let's close this menu and have a look at how each turn is played. The player gets to perform 2 actions on his turn. The possible actions are move, hero ability, build, recruit, and produce. In this tutorial, we are looking to take over the central treasury to produce firestones and gain victory points from them, and try to end the game early. Let's select Move as our first action, which lets us move all our units. As the move action starts, all movable units are lit green or yellow. By clicking on a unit, all tiles that it can move to are lit. You can then click on the tile where you want it to move. Movement in all directions are allowed, but buildings, mountains, water, and other units will block movement in general. Moving in or out of melee combat will consume all movement points. Cavalry can move 3 tiles, while infantry, archers, and heroes can only move 2. Let's advance our army towards the central treasury. Let's click the brown Build button and see where we can build. Buildable tiles are lit green or yellow. Yellow means that building a town is not allowed. We can now build by clicking on a tile and then clicking on the building we want in the pop-up interface. We might need reinforcements to hold the central treasury, but right now we only have 1 barracks building that is located in our starting base. It is quite slow to recruit units in our base and move them all the way here. So let's instead build new barracks here so that we can recruit new units closer to our army. Now that we are done with our 2 actions, our turn is finished and all combat between units in range is resolved automatically. The turn will now pass over to the next player, who gets to play 2 actions of his choice. Combat will be resolved after each player's turn. For this turn, we might want to recruit some more units and start producing firestones from the central treasury. Let's start by selecting Recruit Action by pressing the green Action button. All tiles where we can recruit armies are now lit green. As we can see, the tiles around our barracks are where we can recruit. Let's perform the recruit the same way we did with building. First, we click the tile we want to recruit on, then we click the unit we want to recruit. If we look at the top border of the screen, we can see that we are starting to run low on resources. Building and recruiting costs resources, which can only be replenished by performing the Produce action or capturing an enemy town that contains resources. We should choose the Produce action for our next turn so that we can keep on recruiting and building. When we select the Produce action, a resource cart will be created at all resource points we control. In this case, we control a mine and the central treasury, so we will get 1 cart containing crystals and 1 cart containing firestone. The carts automatically walk toward our closest town to deliver the resources for use. The central treasury contains 10 firestones, which means that the game will end after 10 produce actions have been performed while controlling the central treasury. Finally, let's have a look at diplomacy, which can be performed during any action except produce. Diplomacy allows you to trade resources or form binding alliances with other players. Trading resources can be very beneficial for both parties since all races require different resources, But it can also be risky since all trades are sent by resource carts that can be captured by other players. Both trading and forming long-term alliances can reward victory points. Now you know the basics to play Realms Crossing. Make sure you invite some friends and stab some backs to get the most fun out of the game.